and welcome back to another exciting art class. Today we have a wonderful project. We're going to be using warm and cool colors, and we'll be making our favorite number in pastel. For those kids who can blend, you'll be using some blending techniques, or if you just like to color, that'll be fine as well. So let's just take a look and see what colors we'll be using. If you remember, half of the color wheel, these are our warm colors. These will be our cool colors. Do you remember those? This is our project today, and I'm going to show you how to make it. So what we'll be doing is this. We'll use a piece of newspaper underneath so that when we color off of our page, we won't get it all over our desks. You'll be given a special kind of piece of paper. This is called manila paper, and it has a kind of a soft, kind of a fuzzy feel to it, and this is really good for doing oil pastels. And here's my set of oil pastels, and it says that it's oil painting with a stick. This is a very, very old set. This is what I'm mainly using. And I think I'm going to pick a number, and my favorite number is lucky number 7. I've always liked this number. So I want you to draw the number just in kind of lines and try to make it as big as possible. Try not to make it too small because we want to use the design on the paper. So I'm going to go like this and draw my 7. Now I'm going to show you how to make a balloon number, and there's a couple ways of doing it. You can use a finger, and let's say I'm going to go from the tip of my finger to the first knuckle, and I'll make a mark. Or sometimes you can use a piece of scrap paper and just make a mark, and we'll just make these dots like this. Then, just like we've done this before in drawing books, we're going to join the dots, and suddenly I've got a really cool balloon letter. I'm just going to make it a bit fatter here on the bottom so it looks really nice like that. Okay? Then there's my lucky number. We can choose anything from 1 till 9. And now we're going to put on 5 lines. The first 2 lines will be curvy lines, and they'll be vertical, which means it goes from top to bottom. Let's try it. 1, right through the number. 2, great. Now, let's try 3 diagonal lines, and they'll be going from side to side. So there's 1, 2, and 3. Well, that looks pretty cool. Now, with a black marker, outline your work. I'll do my number first. Well, that looks pretty good. You can turn your paper if it's a little bit easier to use. And I'm going to trace right over the lines that I made, and notice that I'm going right through my number with the marker. That's okay. Here's my other line. This looks like a helix. And my last line goes right through here. Now, and there's my design. Now that looks pretty good. Now I'm going to make a decision. And you're going to decide what is going to be where. If we take our warm colors here, do we want them on the outside or on the inside? Let's take a look at my drawing over here. Here are my cool colors. Here are my warm colors, and I made a decision that I was going to put my warm colors on the inside of the numbers. This is with just plain coloring. This is plain coloring, and these are my blended colors. I'm going to show you how to do that in just a minute. And look at these beautiful effects that I have on the outside because I've used my cool colors on the outside. Let's switch it around for this project and make the cool colors on the inside and the warm colors on the outside. So I'm going to show you how to do some blending. So let's say you'll find that with your set of pastels, you'll need, for this project, you'll need a pencil, a Sharpie or a black marker, a set of pastels, and your paper. I'm going to give you 2 pieces of paper so that you can practice your blending techniques first. So here's my first one. This is called stroking, and I'm going to be making lines like this. And then I'm going to use, let's say, this goldy colored next. And I'm going to go on top of my yellow. Then I'm going to go back with my yellow, which is really soft, and I'm going to use the flat end. And I'm going to go over it this way. Looks pretty good. And then I'm going to put some orange in it at the last with these lines. Then I'll go over it with this color, make it soft, and it looks like one color will be going right into the other. This is good blending. What do you think? Now, the next one is called cross-hatching. And for this one, I'm going to use some cool colors. So I'm going to choose a dark blue, a light blue, and a green. I'm going to start off with my light blue. And I'm going to go something like this. It's kind of like stroking. But instead of going in one direction, cross-hatching will go in all kinds of directions. And I'll go this way. Then I'll use this green one and I'll go in a different direction. And then I'll go back to my blue. So that's kind of a mix of stroking and the cross-hatching. And the overlay is simply one color on top of another, and you can use any directions that you like. Let's try this one. Let's go for the red and the orange. I'll try these two. Then I'll try the red on top. And I go very lightly with the red. Now I'll go over it again with the orange. And these colors are very soft, so they'll blend beautifully. There you go. And here's our blending project. Shall we get started? Let's try and see. Now I said that I was going to be making my warm colors on the outside and my cool colors on the inside, which is the opposite to what I started over here. Let me just start it and I'll do just a little bit for you. Now, anything that's on the inside of your number will be either warm or cool. You make that decision. So I said that it was going to be in cool colors, so I'll start over here First one, I'll start off with my stroking. Then I'll go with the dark blue in here. I'm going to do some green over here. Go back again with my light blue. Pretty nice. What do you think? Okay. And because my box doesn't have a purple, what two colors do you think we'd be using to make a purple? Let's see on my color chart. Yellow and red make orange. Blue and yellow give you green. Red and blue give me purple. Do you want to try it? Now red's a very soft color, so I'm not going to go really hard here. I'm going to use the flat end of it, and I'm just going to put a little bit on here. There we go. Then I'm going to take my blue, and I'm going to go on top of it. Let's see if it gives me a purple. Not bad. Not bad at all. Let's add a little bit more red. A little bit more blue. Hey, there you go. Looks pretty good. Okay, now what else can I do? Let's go for plain blue right here. That looks pretty good. Okay, and then another one. How about just some plain green here? And so forth until I did all my number 7 through in here. This would be another spot in here. I could go here. Let's take a break and then I'll start on my warm colors.